Russia looks like it's preparing for military action against Ukraine. 100,000 soldiers have amassed along the border, supported by Russian armour and artillery that could move quickly if necessary.
The plan for a lightning war that could take out Kiev is one that everybody can see.
Is Russia planning invasion or using smoke and mirrors to push NATO into doing what it wants?
This is all Putin. I don't think even his people know for certain what he's going to do.
But if this isn't a bluff and Putin really is planning to invade Ukraine, this is what it would look like on the front line for Ukraine and everyone else as well.
Russia may want to invade in winter on solid frozen ground, perfect conditions for tanks. At the moment, the weather's been too mild in Ukraine for a proper freeze. Even if the ground freezes within weeks, Russia may not have long to invade before the ice thaws and its machinery risks being bogged down.
The intelligence is very clear that there are 60 Russian battle groups, about 60 Russian battle groups on the borders of Ukraine.
Russia's soldiers are being moved into prime positions, though. On the 18th of January, Russia announced it had moved troops to Belarus for joint military exercises, giving it the option of attacking Ukraine from the north, east and south.
But the preparations being reported aren't just ground and air forces. If there's going to be an invasion, the Kremlin will use a whole range of different tactics.
Hackers linked to Belarusian intelligence agencies, an ally of Russia, attacked Ukrainian government websites at the beginning of January. Although the sites were quickly secured, some experts say the hackers may have been testing access and leaving back doors into the system.
Дана ситуація, вона, на мою думку, не остання. По-друге, це були кібертероризм, будемо його так називати, в рамках кібервійни з агресором.
There's also the movement of Russia's amphibious ships from the Baltic Sea, potentially towards Ukraine's most important port, Odessa. Russia's held Navy drills in the Black Sea, and 6 assault ships are making their way through the Mediterranean to a training exercise, with fears they could then make their way to Ukraine's shores.
However, many have dismissed this as a distraction technique. Amphibious exercises are expensive, and Russia has never attempted one in the past.
Russia's also moving ships through the English Channel, the Straits of Gibraltar and the Straits of Istanbul for the world and particularly the West to see. Intelligence officials in the UK and US also say the Kremlin is preparing for political control of Ukraine. According to a declassified letter, Ukrainian politician Yevhen Murayev is Russia's pick to lead a new government. He's staunchly pro-Russian and sees the West's influence over Kiev and its president as a hostage situation. Murayev has strongly denied the claims. Around 100,000 Russian troops are reported to have gathered along its 1,200-mile border with Ukraine. It sought to have just over 1 million authorised personnel in its ranks, about 280,000 of them in ground forces. That's compared to Ukraine's 150,000 combat-ready troops.
Although that sounds like a stark difference, the last time Ukraine went to war with Russia, it had only 6,000 combat-ready troops. It's certainly in a better position than it was then.
If there were to be a large-scale invasion of Ukraine, are you confident that your forces would be able to resist and push them back?
Ми його відбиваємо з 2014 року. Ну, звісно.
Ukraine has the support of the West and NATO, despite not being a NATO member. UK troops have been in the country since 2015, training Ukrainian soldiers. And in response to Russia's latest military aggression, Britain has sent 30 elite troops and 2,000 anti-tank weapons.
Принципиально, никого не спрашивая, прислали 5 Galaxy. Это круто.
NATO is putting forces on standby and sending additional ships and fighter jets to its deployments in Eastern Europe. Spain is sending ships to join NATO naval forces. France has expressed its readiness to send troops to Romania under NATO command. And the Netherlands is sending 2 F-35 fighter jet aircraft to Bulgaria from April to support NATO's air policing activities in the region. The United States has also said it's considering increasing its military presence in Eastern Europe. Vladimir Putin has made explicit threats about military action if his demands are not met. If that means an invasion of Ukraine, some experts predict violence in Europe on a scale not seen since the Second World War.